reductions you mentioned come as a result, direct result of your mission last year, and what exactly came as a direct result. And also, we've got a very capable film commissioner in the form of Zabe Shakay. I'm sorry for that. Why does the mayor need to go? Can't you just pick up the phone and say thank you for your,
Well, first of all, I don't think it's credible for me to stand here unless I literally do, because somebody said, well, as a result of you having, hosted me at a reception last year or come for a meeting or this new 5-point plan that you all put in place, that our production came for that reason alone to Toronto. I wouldn't be as arrogant or presumptuous to suggest that any one factor by itself is going to explain, probably if you ask what the number one factor is that contributes to productions coming here, to be candid, it is the talented people, but it's also the tax credits. But I think the rest of what goes with that, the customer service, the availability of sound space, the availability of talent, and so on, all are part of a puzzle. And I will assure you right now, I am going on this trade mission, and I invite you to speak to them. Don't take it from me. I am going on this mission to Los Angeles because the industry asked me to go. And I guess if they felt my presence was useful, they would ask me. And if they felt my presence wasn't useful and that Zabe or anybody else, they could do it themselves, they wouldn't ask me. I repeat to you something I've said before, to you, to all the media. I don't look for opportunities to travel. My wife will confirm that to you. Even when it's vacation time, and she'll say to me, I want to go somewhere for 10 days, I say, could it be 6? I don't like being away. I have many things to do here, but part of what I have to do here is to ensure a healthy economy. And when this is a $1.5 billion industry, and it's ranged even higher than that, because you'll ask, the cost of the city's portion of this mission is $35,000 total, all in. And if you said to me, would I expend or invest $35,000 of the taxpayers' money to get the return we get in terms of jobs and film production going on here and make a small contribution to help productions get over the line to come to Toronto? The answer is yes, I would, every single time. Yes, I would. And any business person will tell you they would do that. And I suspect the industry people, if you ask them, will confirm the same thing.
Just to move to a more prosaic.
Yes.
Yesterday, the Works Committee spent a day talking about the garbage issue.
Yes.
Very hard on, and some fairly sharp criticisms of that came forward. Among them that by many measures it's actually less expensive to collect garbage in Scarborough using the public sector than it is using the contractor in Etobicoke. The Virgin is actually better in Scarborough than it is with the contractor. And Bob Ray came by to note that there might be a moral dimension to contracting as well. Do you have a response to these things that have come up?
I think the moral dimension that's involved here, given that the people who are involved in the private collection of garbage are unionized workers who are paid approximately the same as what city workers get, is the moral. There is really no moral dimension to it. I think that what we found, where it has been privatized, there's been no suggestion whatsoever that workers are treated other than fairly by their employers, and there's an entire labor relations system to make sure they're protected in that regard. What we have found is that private sector collectors are willing to engage in different kinds of work practices. They have a relationship with their unions such that they will have more flexible arrangements that allow them to be more productive and to save. And that this part is on the record and is clear as day in terms of the facts that when it has been done in the west part of the city, millions of dollars have been saved every single year. So that is a fact. That's not a moral argument, that's a fact, but I don't think there is a moral argument in the sense that I've never heard a suggestion made that anybody was being mistreated at the hands of a private sector employer. And these are unionized workers represented by people like the Teamsters, who I've never found to be pussycats when it comes to representing the interests of their workers. So now let's deal with the practical end of this and what's really at stake here. What is at stake here is going to the marketplace and finding a benchmark. So yesterday, and I don't want to embarrass her because she's standing beside me and it's awkward a little bit, but that's fine. It's part of the discourse of what goes on in public. But Paula was holding up, Councillor Fletcher was holding up some numbers yesterday. And then she said, well, the numbers are from 2014. And I said, yes, that's exactly the point. All we're doing, by virtue of what is in front of the City Council in 10 days' time, is seeking the authority to go out to the marketplace and say to the private sector, how much would you do this job for today? So that we can then see what the 2017 comparison is, because we know what the costs for the city are, and we know what the contract says with our union. And by the way, we have the added benefit this time, in my view, of saying to the union, if you wish to participate and put in a number as to how you do the job, please do. And I've been very clear in making my wishes known that I hope the union does bid, and I've said to them via you that in the event they bid, the chances are they'll win, because that's been what's happened in most of the cities where the union has put in a bid. They've won, and they delivered the service today on an improved basis. So to me, Mr. Ray, I think if I'd been there yesterday, I would have said this to Mr. Ray. I would have asked him to specify what the moral problem was here, because there's lots of private sector employers, including the place where we're standing, where employees, I think, are generally treated very well. And I think just because it's a private sector employer does not mean, never has meant, and never will mean that employees are mistreated. But I would ask Mr. Ray, if you'd had presented to you back when you were struggling with the finances of Ontario and a record deficit, an opportunity to save millions of dollars, would you have taken the meeting? Would you have gone out and done the research to find out if that saving was real? And that's exactly what we're asking the council to do. Find out if the saving is as significant as we think it could be, but we won't know until we go out and ask people. Simple as that. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, we're going to get the council's approval to do it. We'll have a good discussion, and we'll take it from there.